Hello everyone, before I start this episode, sorry for the delay for making this video. I had an awful lot going on in the past couple of weeks, especially with home and personal life, plus I've been having quite a few PC issues that needed to get sorted out. Anyway, aside from this, I'm back, sit back, relax and enjoy this video. Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. My name is Bladewolf Kagekiyo and I'm here to talk about motorsports and sim racing from a furry perspective. This week's topic we will be talking about the dreaded sausage curve that has been appearing a lot more around many racing circuits in the past decade, that has become a big talking point because of the recent instances that's been involving the sausage curbs. The main purposes of the sausage curbs is to discourage drivers for exceeding the track limits by effectively raising the car high enough so that when they go over them the wheels come off the main surface, reducing the amount of traction, making it difficult to put the power down. However, they also have a chance they could do some damage to the car, where it might end up breaking a piece of wing, a piece of flooring and bits of under tray. And in some cases, like what happened with Max Verstappen at Circuit of America, it can also break suspensions. This may seem all well and good to discourage drivers not to exceed the track limits, however, there are a darker side to these sausage curbs. Although they do give the drivers a reason to avoid these as much as possible, but the problem is sometimes you can't always avoid them, especially when you have to take evasive action, where you do end up either going wide or sometimes cutting a bit of corner and expected loss of grips where it forces you to go over the sausage curbs. This issue was first highlighted in the Singapore Grand Prix when they had a couple of incidents. The first one was the Singapore Sling, where the left-right-left chicane was designed to filter the cars into the single file going over to the bridge. This was where one of the Force Indias went airborne and crashed into the barriers. Not only that, Kimi Raikkonen in the Ferrari at the time also got caught out late in the race too. At first, these seems to be doing the job that is intended, but over the years, bigger, more serious incidences started to appear. The first serious incident that happened that started to raise the questions of the safety of the sausage curbs was back in 2014 during the GP3 event in Spa in Belgium, when a Russian driver, Konstantin Tereshchenko, went airborne over the sausage curb, flying 15 to 20 foot in the air and landing hard on the ground, breaking the car and causing him to roll. Luckily, he was not hurt in that incident and was able to walk away. But this started to raise the question, as the last thing you want to see, especially in the open world of motorsport, is to see a car flying airborne. This was especially dangerous at the time because there was no protective halo to protect the driver's head at that point. Then, in 2017, in the Macau circuit, the more serious incident occurred. Something that I happened to be watching at the time, and it certainly started to make my blood boil regarding the safety of the sausage curbs. This was when the German driver Sophia Florenz had a horror crash when a car got launched by the blue sausage curb. Again, going airborne, but this time, with the speed and the force of the impact, she crashed through the catch fence, and not only that, she ended up crashing into the makeshift structure in the back, only narrowly missing the marshals and the photographers. This incident was so bad she had to be taken to the hospital, requiring a 11-hour surgery after breaking her spine. Thankfully since then she had made a full recovery, but this incident had showed how dangerous the curbs can be, and also highlighted how lucky that anyone involved in the incident, as it could have been a heck of a lot worse. Since then, there has been a couple of more serious incidents involving the sausage curbs. Most famously, and more recently, Alex Peroni in Formula 3 at Monza circuit in Italy ended up going airborne as well, as he caught the sausage curb as he was going wide at the Tamburello curve. And again, he got launched into the air and got caught in the catch fence and going quite through, getting knocked out in the process. Thankfully, on that occasion, the FIA had some sense, where they decided to remove the sausage curbs at that particular part of the circuit, just for precautionary reasons. especially the fact that if you have a much faster Formula 1 car going over it, it might end up being a heck of a lot worse than what was shown in Formula 3. Finally, more recently, off camera in the 2020 Formula 2 Grand Prix, Jean Galil was hospitalised after breaking his back, which, what appears to be from eyewitness accounts from the other drivers who was following him, got launched by the Sausage Kerbs and landed hard on the track. Because of all these incidents that's been coming on regarding the Sausage Kerbs, there's been a far amount of anger starting to come from the racing fans. Yes, sure, we do want the drivers to race as fair as possible, as well as get punished for the mistakes, but you don't want to do it in a way where it will put drivers and possibly the marshals at risk. My opinion about these Sausage Kerbs is that I think they should be removed, despite their main intentions of trying to prevent drivers exceeding the track limits. The reason is because I actually think it's actually far more dangerous than what they're actually worth. In fact, I consider them too little to be used at all, especially the fact of the way that it makes the cars take off completely and sometimes, and has shown in many occasions, go over the barriers. And I do fear that if we're not careful, this will actually come at the price of both the drivers and possibly the marshals and photographers who are watching the sport. Especially the fact I've already seen one too many incidents that certainly make my blood boil over it. Forgive me if I sound a little too old-fashioned, but there has been already a far more better and safer alternatives, like the gravel traps, which they used to use quite a lot. The way the gravel traps work is, not only they don't launch the cars like the Kerbs do, but they also punish the drivers as well when they go over them. Especially the fact that when you do go over them, because it's all gravelly, it actually slows your cars down, and also have that chance of possibly getting beached as well if you're not careful. This already gives the drivers more than enough reason to avoid them as much as possible. As for street circuits, putting a gravel trap is not always possible, but what you could do is you could actually put wire looms that fitted on both the inside of the corners and the outside of the turnoffs, which auto detects drivers that when they do go off, they immediately get punished. And also the fact that putting breakable bollards also is definitely worth considering, especially the fact they never really harm the drivers, but they do have a chance of sometimes breaking the piece of aerodynamics on the cars as well, without doing too much harm to the actual drivers. I really hope the FIA look into reviewing these in the future, because otherwise, if we're not careful, I fear that far more worse serious incidents are going to happen if we're not careful. And it's something which I certainly don't want to happen, because I do enjoy the sport and I do enjoy drivers racing as hard as possible, as well as safe as possible. Anyway, I hope you liked this video. If you do, feel free to like and subscribe to this channel. See you soon, and howl you later. Awoo!